about to get underway. Cordless is on pole position, and he gets a slow start in the front wheel drive Renault. The two BMWs are going very, very quickly. It could get into positions 1 and 2, and Extreme Beef is coming up fast. And it looks like VX Dave and Bareback both had quite a good start from the back of the grid. Bareback already up to 9th. Oh, a little bit of contact with Skids. Oh, there's more contact. And Skids goes round and off into the barrier. That's very early on. That's very frustrating. Skids there. All guys coming up through the chicane. There's contact as well. Is that Mark and Lee? I think. Goodness me. Good friends in real life there. But fierce enemies on track. And then there's contact from Bareback. Bareback up to 8th place. Now getting pushed back down to 9th by Mark. Great move from Mark up the inside. Excellent move. Heading back towards the front, it's the two BMWs out in the lead. It's Stiggy from Dave, but DTI Dave's got a better exit there out of the hairpin, and DTI Dave takes the lead. Stiggy on the inside of corner. Stiggy's lost it, round he goes. Oh, Apex into the back, and then we've got, I think that was Brave going into the back. Oh, goodness me, there's carnage. And that's Stiggy out, and that's Apex in a very bad position indeed there. Out in front, VX Dave makes his way up to 6th place. Looks like Brave is heading for the pit lane. Yes, he dives in. But out in front, it's still BMW leading, and Cordless be happy with that after that poor start in front wheel drive Renault, running 2nd place. And a big shout out to Simon there, who has managed to hold on to podium slots so far in this race in 3rd place. He's got race 1 winner VX Dave bearing down on him, but the car's quite heavy at this stage. Now we understand that Bareback is running quite light fuel for this race, and we expect him to be very quick. Oh my goodness! And that's Lee! He's lost it on his own. He's gone round into the barrier. That is going to cause some damage on that Renault, and he will probably need a pit for that. Back out in front, Cordless in the Renault, really putting the pressure now on DTI Dave. These two stealing an absolute march on the rest of the field at the moment. The rest of the field being led by Simon, Extreme Beat in 3rd place there. And he's got VX Dave now. VX Dave actually sandwiched between the two green Renault teammates. And this could be tricky because those two may gang up a little bit, as you'd expect. VX Dave done a bit sideways there now. Remember in race 1 how quick Bareback was coming out of this corner with VX Dave running wide. This time the same thing has not quite managed to play off. VX Dave holds the position, and he actually seems to be having a bit of a run on Bareback's teammate Simon, and he's going to try it. Slipstream outbreaks his turn 1, he goes through cleanly. His teammate on the other hand takes a little bit of contact and goes through. That's Bareback now. So these guys are now 3rd and 4th from 9th and 12th respectively. That's a fantastic run for these guys so far. Now, who else have we got to watch out for? Now, and Bareback's got to run on VX Dave. This could be title changing, because of course these two get 1st and 2nd in the first race now. Bareback goes up the inside, he takes the position off of VX Dave. That was a fantastic move, a little bit of light contact but nothing unfair. VX Dave seems to have had a better exit, having ran quite wide out the corner, and he's coming back on the inside. Are they going to give space? Oh, they're just about good room to each other, and yep, there's just enough room given them. Bareback maintains that position. VX Dave trying to fight back, but it looks at this stage that Bareback has the absolute legs. His car is flying, and his teammate doing a good job there in 5th in the other green Renault. A bit further back, we know Brave has taken his pit stop. Bit of an unfortunate incident on that first lap there. He got caught up in someone else's incident. Car's looking like it's handling a little bit more as he likes it. There we go, throwing it in. It's definitely going less sideways, so he'll be expecting a good result, and he's turning in nice and fast there. Further back, Apex, probably the biggest loser other than Stiggy in terms of positions and championship points with that incident. Apex completely innocent bystander in many respects, but hit the back of the Stig as Stig spun and then got clobbered in the back by Brave just to put him out on the gravel. All very much a racing incident, unfortunately, and Skids and Stig are very much so out of this. Now, DTI Dave is looking very menacing. He's just 0.2 of a second off of Cordless. We didn't actually see the move that Cordless made to get through, but Cordless has now retaken the lead. Fantastic job. Cordless's car does seem to be jumping around a little bit, but he doesn't seem to have lost focus as he bounces over the curb with the BMW coming up behind. BMW absolutely sideways coming out of there. This is fantastic stuff between the two. Two very different cars, but very similar in pace. Now as we go up the hill, we know DTI Dave out of the two BMW teammates tends to set his car up a little bit more to the corner than he unless the straight line. Perhaps it's just showing there often this debate between whether the Renault or the BMW is the quicker car in a straight line. We're looking quite close there. If anything, the Renault have the slight legs. But these two very close indeed, and Bareback is starting to catch up with them in third place there in that green Renault, looking very menacing indeed. Now, DTI Dave will be very keen to score well in this race, having dropped back to 10th place in the first race. He'll be looking to potentially score the win here. BMW looking strong. Bear in mind this is the early stages as well. We know that the Renaults struggle on tyre life around here. It's very, very hard on the front left, particularly with that long drag out the last corner. So let's see what can be done here. He's not as close to Cordless this time, so I don't think the move is coming. But look, oh, he's good on the brakes, but he did go a little bit deep now. It's giving Bareback a little bit of a sniff. I wonder if he's going to be able to do something as they head up the hill. Coming out of the last turn. He's fast over these curves. BMW not able to use quite as much curve, but it does get a nice push out the corner with his rear-wheel drive. Just see Dave using the balance of the BMW there. Bareback getting a little bit crossed up to get the maximum speed out of the road. Again, you can see the straight line performance is pretty similar between the cars. BMW actually pulling away slightly with the slipstream, I think. Cordless's Renault just a little bit further ahead, but these three just starting to break away a little bit, and you see Bareback bounce over the curb, but they're breaking away from VX Dave at this stage. It does look like these guys are a little bit quicker as things go. Now we know Bareback running the light fuel, so he's likely to have to pit a bit earlier than the rest. What we've got going on a little bit further behind, not too much going on. Got Lee closing down on Sammy. Sammy doing a really good job in this race, unable to score just outside the points in race 1, so he'll be looking to hopefully score some points here in race 2. Right, back with the race leaders now, and it's still ever so close to the three of these guys. Bareback definitely looking the quickest of the three. He has to back out of the move there. Oh, the BMW goes sideways again. You just see VX Dave in the background, not able to keep in contention with these guys. Is that a chance? No! Oh, I thought for a moment there Bareback might just about to get up the inside of the BMW driver, who is very, very quick at this stage of the race. But Cordless really is the man of the moment. He is absolutely flying at the moment in that Renault, just controlling things. All looking neat and tidy, look at that. Hitting the apexes, turning through nicely. He actually stays off the curve. We saw a lot of the Renault drivers absolutely pummelling the curves. But I think Cordless very keen to get a good result here, and therefore not pushing the track. Oh, he's got a little bit deep there, saw a little bit of lock-up. We saw that from VX Dave earlier. It does seem to be where the Renault struggle a little bit on the brakes into that corner, with the front being quite heavy. VX Dave perhaps just catching back on the back of these guys a little bit. But these guys are all still extremely close together. Now, Cordless looked very slow off of the corner there. Let's have a look on board with Bareback as we head down towards the hairpin. It's very close indeed. Oh my goodness, oh DTI Davies turned, he's going Cordless, and oh what is happening? What is going on? That is so unfortunate, and VX Dave goes through as well. DTI Dave off in the gravel with his Cordless behind. Now Cordless has lost out big time there, dropping from the lead. Looks like DTI Dave is doing the chivalrous thing and letting the position back. Great driving by those guys after a very unfortunate incident. accident, but right thing to do by those guys. And you can see Simon Extreme Beef having an excellent run there in what is now 5th position, really trying to catch on these guys. But strangely enough, from 12th and 9th respectively, it's these guys who were 1st and 2nd in the first race who are now 1st and 2nd, but the other way round in this race. So VX Dave there chasing Bareback, not seeming to manage to pace Bareback at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see where Bareback manages to pit with that light fueled car. Don't forget, bouncing over the curb through the chicane, looking back towards DTI Dave and Cordless. These guys obviously had that coming together at last lap around, and they're still close to track once more. Further back we have got Sammy and Lee, who are neck and neck. This is ever so close, some great racing going on between these two. Now we did see Lee slide into the barriers earlier, unfortunately losing the back of that Renault. I don't know whether he's got damage, but he looks good out of there. Is it going to be enough to get a run on Sammy? Doesn't seem to be the case. I think perhaps the damage is telling on Lee's car, perhaps he's not pitted yet. Definitely losing out a few lengths on the straight there, because they were quite close to going out the corner. Sammy doing a nice job there, nice and smooth, and that car is looking in tip-top condition, as Sammy's always seems to be. And then this guy, we haven't talked about this guy an awful lot. He had got involved in that incident on the first corner. Again, a bit of an innocent bystander, and ended up clobbering into the back of Apex. He's done his pit stop, and he's only 25 seconds behind the leaders and dropping. So this could be very, very interesting indeed. Mark in a bit of a lowly 9th, and Apex after his pit stop in a very lonely 10th at the moment. He'll be hoping to capitalise later on in the races as he's taking his pit stop, but yeah, car all repaired, and he's definitely pushing hard. You can see that. Look at the body language on that Renault. Fantastic stuff. Back out in front, there's now actually curiously only a second between these guys, so it seems like VX Davis managed to pick up the pace a little bit. Whether it's enough to actually take a position before pit stops, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely VX Dave a little bit closer to Bareback now. And look, we talked about body language in his teammates' car. Look, again, both of those guys seem to have the car set up quite aggressively, bouncing over the curves. Go up the hill following Bareback's car, there's obviously not going to be an awful amount in it. These two cars running the same engine. Bareback into the pit. Now, could this be the chance for VX Dave to get some kind of overlap and take the lead for good? He's obviously in a good position at the moment. He's clearly running a heavier fueled car on lap 10 of 22 at the moment. You wouldn't believe that these two are still together on track. They seem to have spent most of the weekend so far together on track. Most of the time actually attached to each other. Oh, and that was another slow exit from Cordless. It does seem to be where the Renault struggled. BMW very quick. They've been very patient this time after the contact earlier. Will be very keen not to make that mistake again for fear of penalties. And again, it just looks like Dave's got a little bit more tyre underneath him at this stage in the race. Quite fast out of there, but Cordless' car not bad on the straight. So I think, you know, he's got enough in hand there that he can just hold off into the hairpin. He doesn't have to push too hard. That looks very tidy from both of them. A little bit further back, Brave now. Danny getting past Sammy. Getting past Lee. That was Sammy's still a little bit ahead of these guys, but to manage to get past Lee, that's put him up to 6th on track. And of course, with pit stops yet to play out, yeah, that could be a much better position than that even. But yeah, these guys are probably the closest on track at the moment. Brave definitely happy with the car. Look at that as it comes out of there. There's none of that back end swinging out so much. Definitely found something a little bit better with the car in this race compared to the previous one. And DTI David Cordless, again, very close on track. Just half a second or less between them. Again, the BMW very quick through the tight twisty stuff, and probably struggling a little bit more out on the faster sections. Just looking at the fastest laps at the moment, VX Dave lapping very quickly at the moment, actually, at 1:24.8. Fastest man on track at the moment. Not the fastest lap of the race so far. That has gone to Bareback in the green Renault. But nevertheless, 11 laps in with quite heavy fuel load and heavy tyre weight. Just see the angle of the car really pushing as it comes out of that final turn. It really does put so much load into that front left. And really risks taking it up to bursting point. These guys still so close again. Here we are, coming on to lap 12. Nothing to choose between them. Cordless again, staying off the curb. Very neat and tidy. This guy, one of the cleanest and fastest drivers in the championship, taking that race in second places last year and the famous win at Bathurst. DTI Dave just did one round last season with a DNF result, but it's clearly got the pace to run with these guys, and probably for better luck could have potentially had the win in race 1. We've got Mark and Sammy running reasonably close, within a couple of seconds of each other. Lee just going quite, sorry, Mark just going in quite hard there over the chicane. Now if we look at the overall picture at the moment, VX Dave yet to pit, Cordless yet to pit, DTI Dave yet to pit, Brave, first man who's pitted, Sammy's yet to pit, Mark I think yet to pit. We know that Bareback's taken a pit stop, but is actually on track behind Brave now, and Apex of course is pitted. I haven't quite seen what happened with Simon, don't know if he's pitted, but he's definitely dropped back a little bit further in this race than what he was earlier on. These guys just had a little coming together at turn 1. Oh, DTI Dave's gone sideways again, just missed that off camera though. Slight bit of contact into turn 1. Now, this is all getting quite close together. We've got Mark just a couple of tenths of a second behind Sammy now, and Bareback closing down on them in the green Renault that's been so fast all weekend so far. Will Mark have the run out here? He goes wide, Sammy goes tight. Sammy then cuts to the inside. Clever defending there on the exit by Sammy, just to try not to give Mark that easy overtake or undertake up the inside. So if Sammy can hold it on the brakes, no, Mark goes really deep on the brakes and manages to pull around the outside. It's a fantastic move from Mark there. Now pulled us into the pits, so this could be quite crucial. This could decide a podium position potentially. It's lap 14, so we've still got about 8 laps to go. And these guys all looking close on track. Who's that heading into the pit? I think it was Sammy. Sammy's taken his pit. Promotes Bareback back up to 6th place. Cordless now heading out the pits now. How close are these guys going to be? Oh, it's Cordless and his teammate Mark who are now very close on track indeed. We've got 4th and 5th for Mark and Cordless respectively, and then Bareback bearing down from 6th place. Apex will be a little bit happy with this now. Looks like he's managed to get past Simon. Just missed that off camera. But that's fantastic for him. That puts him up to 7th on track. And of course he's already pitted. A couple of the other guys still to go. These guys in the red and blue cars have been racing hard all weekend. It's been a good team effort, but who was that? Was that Mark? Oh, Mark has gone wide, but then Cordless has gone off in sympathy, and they stay in the same positions. But Bareback, ever the opportunist, takes his way past one, takes his way past Cordless, and that puts Bareback up in a strong 5th position, and he's chasing down now. He's really going for it. But he's a little way off. He's a little way off as they head down into turn 1. Not going to be enough brakes to make a move there. But these guys are very close together indeed on track now. So he's quickest through the chicane. Oh, Bareback, excellent. Almost making a move. Will he? Oh, not quite. Then we've got the corner out of the straight. Now Bareback looking very good there again on rotation. You saw as he braked, the car really turned for him. And he's just managed to get underneath Mark. And that puts Bareback back up the 4th position. He'll be really chuffed with that. But can he quite do it? No. They give each other room. Mark retains position. Mark bounces over the curve, Bareback hits him in the back, that puts Cordless. Oh my goodness, all 3 of them almost together. Cordless sensibly backs out of that one. That could have been some damage all round there, I think. You watch on board with Cordless heading up the hill now. He's got the toe off 2 cars. Surely somebody's going to make a move this time. It just feels like there's a cork in the bottle and something's going to have to give. Oh my goodness, what's happened? Oh, the 3 of them come together. I didn't see, that was Cordless who ended up on the outside. The guy who looked like he was going to take advantage there. And Mark, his teammate, sandwiched in the middleware. Nowhere to go. I don't think any blame can be apportioned. That's a Mark running wide now. Now, there could be some damage on those cars from that collision. It shouldn't be a huge amount, but that might have done a bit of aero damage. Aero is quite important around this track, particularly as you head out that final corner. Make sure you've got plenty of front end to dig in so you don't understeer wide. Meanwhile, we can see that the gap between VX Dave, who is not yet pitted, and Brave, who has pitted, is now up to around 27 seconds. This could give an opportunity to VX Dave to get a 2nd victory here, but it will be close. DTI Dave a little way further behind from that. Well, lap 16.22 again. Oh, who was that? Was that? That was Mark going wide that time. I wasn't quite sure if he clicked the barrier there. That might have done some damage. That is quite unfortunate for the Team 4C driver. But he's elected to stay out. Back out with the race leader. He's got a comfortable gap at the moment. Looks like the car is still handling very nicely indeed, just turning in gently. Still throwing it over the curb, as a lot of these Renault guys are doing to extract that lap time and keep that advantage. DTI Dave is falling a little bit further back, although he's likely to have a little bit of damage on that car after the contact with Cordless. Two separate lots of contact with Cordless, unfortunately, we've seen so far. These 3 have spread themselves out a little bit further. I think Apex will be quite pleased down in 7th. He's got an opportunity to jump some of these guys, especially if there's any more pit stops yet to come. We're on lap 18 for the race leader. Still yet to take his pit stop. Locking up there, you can see the tyres probably are getting towards the end of their usable life. Still able to throw it over the curbs. It looks still so easy to change direction in that car. and that's critical, of course, at this stage in the race. DTI Dave, the BMW, also looking very planted, if anything, looking better through the tight and twisty stuff. Oh, he says, as he gets a bit of a slide on approaching the chicane, but he's so quick out of there. And Brave having a much better run in this race in the black and yellow Momo car. Again, car looking very planted. Bareback be happy with this, I think, if we get 4th place. I think he would have hoped for more after leading the race from 12th and last on the grid. Let's not forget, on the random reverse grid. So he's done an exceptional job so far, and I think we'll be quite pleased if we can hold on to this. Out in front, VX Dave, he's into the pit. So race leader is in. Now, how will this change things round? DTI Dave due to inherit the lead off of VX Dave there with the BMW. We'll take a quick look at DTI Dave now. He's coming up the hill. And he's pitted too. He's pitted at the same time as VX Dave. Right, now, this really is on for the race lead now. It's between VX Dave coming out the pit, as he's doing now, and a lot of Brave, who's just coming up over the start-finish line. This is going to be very tight indeed. Brave doing 140 mile an hour, VX Dave doing no more than 40 as he exits the pit, but he has got it. He's got the lead. He's taken the lead, or retained the lead, after the pit stop rounds. Brave is 2nd place, about 2.5 seconds behind, so he'll be looking to see if he can close that down in the remaining 3 laps. Elsewhere on track, things are spread out a little bit. DTI Dave has managed to retain 3rd place with the BMW. He'll be pleased with that. Cordless in 4th place will be hoping that he can capitalise and maybe get DTI Dave back, especially after their collisions earlier on in the race. And he's followed up strongly by his teammate Mark in 5th place. So a really good run for the blue and red guys at the moment in the 4C Motorsport cars. Apex, again, I think he'll be quite happy with where he is at the moment. He's done his pit stop, car's looking good, 6th place. And I think also Simon will be relatively pleased with this. He had a good starting position on the grid. He's driven a good sensible race. He's been very fast at times as well. All looking good. Sammy, ever the man to just make his way through and stay out of trouble. He's doing a stellar job, and he's in the points. He could be on for his first points, having just missed out in the first race of the season in round 1. And Bareback, we understand, has had to take another pit stop for fuel, which has put him back to 9th place. So that's really ruined the championship contenders' chances in this one, having almost won race 1 and led this race for a few laps as well. Lee having quite a quiet one after spinning earlier on. Contact the wall, and then 2 retirements with Skids and Stig. Out in front, we can tell you the gap is coming down, but only by around a couple of tenths of a second. Whether that's enough with 3 laps remaining, who knows? It's going to be very difficult, I think. Brave, I think we'll go on board and see what the cars are looking like. So Brave looking very quick through the fast stuff, about to head out the last corner and up the hill. He's chasing down for that victory. He was very unfortunate in race 1, the car is just not handling right, and he'll really be hoping he can reel in VX Dave. But you've got to think, with a couple of laps to go, VX Dave has got the ringside seat. Although he has got traffic, he's coming up to, didn't quite see that one, it's the red and yellow Momo car, which is Lee. That's the teammate with a lot of Brave. So could we see some game playing here? I hope not. Should be blue flagged, should let the leaders through, and he has. Look, you see the bumper hanging off there. He has pulled right out the way of VX Dave. That's excellent driving. He needs to do the same for his teammate. He does not want to block his teammate. His teammates run wide. His teammates run off from the gravel. I think he must have got distracted there on the approach. So that gap is now heading back up again. And now it really is a bit of a battle between these 4C Motorsport guys, currently holding 4th and 5th position. Wasn't sure if Cordis's car was running a little bit slow there. He is. I think Cordis has got a problem. Has his teammate got a problem as well? They both look like they're running a little bit slow with a lap to go. Out in front, VX Stage still heading the pack from almost 3 seconds now from a lot brave. But it's still close here in the mid-pack. Cordis's car does seem to be working alright, having thought that it's running a little bit slow. It does seem to be going alright now. No, he's had to pit. He's had to pit, he must be low on fuel. That's the only thing for it. Apex has taken another position and he's taken Mark. Apex up to 4th position on the heading onto the final lap now. He will be over the moon with that. That is an excellent result if he can hold on to that. Mark's car looks like it's going slow. Both the 4C cars seem to be in trouble. But it is the final lap. There are reasonably big gaps between everybody in the field now. And it does look like this man is going to take his 2nd victory of the day. The reigning champion from last year. Really lucking in that race, but also drove a very clean and fast race, and he does come through. He's going to take his 2nd victory of the season to extend his points lead. I think his teammate actually works out to be in 2nd position in the championship after 3rd place in race 1 and possibly a 4th place in this race. Brave, excellent drive, he'll be happy with that. I think 2nd position. DTI Dave rounding off the podium, an excellent finish in the BMW. That's exactly what the BMW team needed after a pretty unfortunate race 1 and Stig having issues again in race 2 there, so only 1 car finishing. Apex coming up over the line. I do think he'll be chuffed with that 4th place after quite an up and down race and contact in the pit lane. Also getting caught up in the incident with Stig earlier on. Mark just pootling over the line, and he's been done by Simon just before the line. Simon takes 5th place. Excellent result in the green Renault there, and actually finishing well ahead of his teammate. Cordless, after refuelling, has managed to finish 7th. Bareback a lowly 8th after such promise of a potential victory, and Sammy takes 2 points in the 2nd race of the championship. Excellent result, a lovely clean race from Sammy. He also started quite far back on the grid, don't forget.